Welcome. Welcome to the Black Book of Secrets YouTube webinar, or the course where I give away everything I've learned from the last 2 years of trying to launch a YouTube channel, run a YouTube channel, and just everything about YouTube itself, brand awareness, and everything else. If you're watching this live or even on the replay, please drop a comment, say hi. Make sure you freely chat throughout the show so that even on the replay, I'll come back and answer any questions you might have through this section. I'm super pumped and excited to show you everything I've learned to help my brand grow and fundamentally reach that stage that most of us are seeking under brand awareness, is to be able to fundamentally one day earn a passive income from putting content out on YouTube and let YouTube grow it on our behalf. But fundamentally, first thing it's first, who am I? My name is Lawrence Lott. I run the Wolf of Queen Street podcast series, and I have for the last 2.5 years. This podcast has ranked top 100 in over 10 countries throughout the world. Something also close personally to me, also survived a brain tumor in 2019, which gave me refocus and drive from that moment to help as many people as I could. Over the last couple of years, I've become a mental health advocate. I've become a social media and podcast mentor and helping as many people as possible. And that's why I thought I'd put on this course to say, this is how you should do it. This is everything I have learned. This is all the mistakes I've made, that if you start in your podcast brand, you can, or sorry, not podcast brand, your YouTube channel, you can start from this moment implementing these things. Or if you've got an existing channel, you can take it to the next step. So one of the biggest challenges I had for this course, for you personally, for anyone that's watching, was, do I just show you slides? Or do I take you through actually live through my channel personally, so you can see I'm not hiding anything, and show you how to work it and what to do and the steps to go through? Because a lot of things out there that you learn from these days is fundamentally is that the way it actually been done? Is the person that's coaching you or showing you, is that what they follow? And I wanted to show that to you today, whether you're watching live or in the replay. But let's take a step back and fundamentally ask the question, what is YouTube? What is this thing that you're watching across, or what is this business in a nutshell? Officially, it's an American online sharing platform that is owned by Google. Now, I want you just to remember that, because later on it'll come into play. But in a simple term, YouTube is a place where we go to be entertained or educated. Now, just remember those two, entertained or educated. Now, depending on your brand or your business, of whether you've existed or you want to build up from here, you're likely going to fit in these two places, one of these two areas. You might be in a little bit of the middle, but fundamentally you start on the one side, on the other side. You want to educate people or you want to entertain people. So this will drive a bit of direction difference when we come out to the later parts of what we're doing on this course over the next hopefully an hour, 90 minutes or so. If you're just falling into this, the webinar, please stay, please drop a comment and let me know what you thought about all the tips and secrets we go through on the course. Now, also one thing, the next question to ask is, why do people actually start a YouTube channel? Why do any of us start a YouTube channel? Brand awareness, hoping to go viral. Yeah, pretty much. But for 95% of people that start it and understand it, it's fundamentally chasing that thing that they call in the YouTube world of monetization. Can I achieve a status in YouTube that ads run on my channel, and then I can get a revenue from that? I think it's about 55% on every dollar of once you reach monetization. A lot of brands will say, no, it's not. But fundamentally, for a brand, that's something we can go to, because then you can put content out there and you actually get paid for your time across YouTube. Now, monetization, one of the biggest questions and things people don't realize what it is, what it looks like. Fundamentally, the rule set is to apply for monetization for YouTube to be able to give it to you. In the last 12 months, you must have had 4,000 watch hours, and your account overall needs to have 1,000 subscribers. Now, I know straight away everyone goes, okay, how does the 4,000 hours work? What does it look like? What does it entail? What all counts? What doesn't count? Here's a simple explanation. Take today's date, go back 12 months, and all the hours across your channel in that date is what they count as of today. And it obviously moves each day they look back the 12 months. But not every hour counts. If the videos are unlisted, private, they won't count towards monetization. If you've run Google ads towards your YouTube, now remember, Google owns YouTube, so they know what's going on. If you run Google ads towards your YouTube, the views will go up, your hours go up, but they won't count towards your monetization. So the main thing that does count is your actual videos that you load publicly, webinars that are live and stay live, and anything else you do on the channel that stays live. Now, there's something that has come out in the last couple of months around YouTube called Shorts. Unfortunately, YouTube Shorts don't count towards your monetization. YouTube wants your longer form than your 30-second shorts to be part of what's driving people here. Also, a lot of big people ask up front is, Lawrence, why 4,000 hours? Why 1,000 subscribers? Why such a big requirement? I mean, 4,000 hours is over 11 hours of watch time a day. The reason being is YouTube is working hard to show that the channels that reach this status has got certain quality content that is bringing an audience back. So when they on-sell your brand to an ad or an ad company, the relationship is a lot better. That there's not as much noise, messy, and rubbish to their ads, because otherwise the companies aren't going to come over and want to spend their dollars with YouTube. So just think about that fundamentally from a basic point of YouTube. Now going into the course today, there are 4 key areas around YouTube itself that are the way I see it. Now remember, everything I talk about today, a lot of it is basics that are the foundation of how YouTube work, and a lot of it's what I've learned. The 4 key areas, or how I see with YouTube, is YouTube, the channel, your channel itself, the loading of the content itself, and the analytics that sits behind it. So those are the 4 key main areas that we're going to go through. And as I said earlier on, I'm not going to do slides and show you slide to slide. This is where you click and go. I'm actually going to show you just in a second my own channel as we go through all those 4 key areas. As I said it before, it's about your channel, your brand, the loading of the content, how to do that and how to do that correctly. The content itself, in a weird way, the content itself, outside of 1 or 2 things, is not the most important thing. People think that high, full HD, high quality videos will make them successful and famous. It might, but it's not the keystone of it all. And then right at the end is the analytics, understanding what the analytics means, what it shows you, and what it represents within your channel month on month or every 6 months that goes on from there. So how about we start it and jump straight in, and let me share over to my own profile. So at the moment, you should be able to see my profile. This is my Lawrence Lotz, my YouTube channel at the moment. And like I said, the first thing is your channel. Now, again, as I said earlier, you might be starting a YouTube channel. You might not have one. You might have one that's existing and you're looking to take it those next steps. Depending on where you are on this ladder of growth or brand, some of the stuff that I am going to cover off, you might have known already or you have in place. But I will get to all the key items. And I guarantee you, I doubt there's anyone that's going to sit through this and walk away and say, I did not know, or I did know all of it. So let's go into it. So this is my channel. The first thing that you'll notice, and I noticed from a lot of people out there that have the biggest mistakes, is on when they build their channel or they launch their channel, is they don't go around and represent their brand to anyone that finds their channel. What I mean by that, they don't use this amazing space at the top called the banner and actually show their channel name or the information. A lot of people don't even realize that exists, that you can actually put an image up there and have all that real estate filled up with what you do, what you're about. So when someone lands on your YouTube page, it's the first thing that they see. Another thing as well that you'll notice is obviously the image that is just your profile itself that can be changed. As you scroll down, and let me just say, just to make a little note, you will see things on my channel that are subtly different to your profile. I use a product called TubeBuddy. If it's something interesting, I will drop the information in the chat box into the chat, and you can go in and sign up to it. It's about $4 or $5 a month. It's one of the best tools you can use in YouTube, and it's one of the key things that helps me with a lot of what I implement. But you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Everything I put here, you can still use it. But you will see stats and graphs and a few things that you don't normally see in other channels or your own, because TubeBuddy allows me to see that. It shows behind the scenes what channels are actually doing, the SEO and all those capabilities. When we go into more of the stuff later, I'll show you some of the key features. I don't want to spend all my time on that because I don't want to have it that people feel they have to get it. It's amazing. It's a great product. If you want to, please do. And I'll send you through a link as well as a code for 20% off for life. So as we said, you've got the top banner here that people need to realize from your channel. You've also got your image. As you come down here, you'll notice that's something that my channel shows at the moment, and it's called something called channel keywords. These channel keywords, people don't realize exist. It sits behind your channel. When I search on YouTube and I search for something, I can find a video as well as a YouTube channel. So if I went and search on, painting a car, how to paint a house, how to remove an engine, and there was a channel that had the right keyword and they were strong enough, their channel will show higher up than an actual video option. So this is something a lot of people forget about their brand, is that you can actually put these channel keywords onto your YouTube channel, which can drive further traffic. I will show you how to do that, so don't you worry. You're allowed 500 characters. The next thing about the home page, about the channel, is how we have the layout of your home channel. Again, if you've got no videos to date, this is something to pay attention for later on. If you already got videos, have a consider about this, of how you want to change this look. There's a feature called the trailers feature on YouTube, which sits at the very top position. Funny enough, this video you're watching right now is what's shown on there. And if anyone comes over to your channel, that trailer, whether it is actually a trailer or it's just your latest video, will automatically play. So if I go over to someone's channel and I've got my headphones on, or I'm watching on my phone, and the trailer automatically kicks in, I can hear a video playing and it might entice me to go, oh, this is interesting. I want to keep watching this. So it's almost like putting your trailer in front of someone and you're giving yourself 4 to 5 seconds to capture them while they're on your home page. And this is something really simple to use. Outside of that, the next thing to take a look at is actually having all your videos pushed into playlists or in some form of your home page. I've done almost 100 videos, so I've got quite a few playlists that shows different options here. But what you see most in people that have a YouTube channel is they will just upload content continuously. You'll come to the channel and the only playlist that'll be sitting here is what's called the uploads one. It just shows all the videos back off to that. And if I want to see more about them, I have to go over to the videos button to see all their videos without seeing the niche or the subject and all the rest of it that they should find from the home page. So if you're producing content or you have content already that can be packaged into educational, inspirational, sport, tips, tricks, whatever your niche is, build them into a playlist and have those playlists on the homepage that people can see that when they come in, because they might stumble on one of your videos in the one niche and they watch the whole thing. Also, did you know that playlist itself is searchable? Anyone that's gone on YouTube for music, have you ever searched top 40, top 20, top 10, Ed Sheeran this? If you go and search the Ed Sheeran like top 20, there'll be playlists showing, hey, here's 20 songs of Ed Sheeran that someone's made. Your YouTube videos are the same. Your playlist, people can search. And if they see their playlist, they might see, oh, that's amazing. Someone has shown me the 10 steps how to do this in this brand. And you've got 10 different videos in your playlist, and they'll go through that. So just think about that when we're talking about the playlist. So obviously, this is everything that's sitting on the homepage at the moment. And there's one other thing that a lot of people brand forget about. there's this button right at the end, right here, that's called the About. A lot of channels forget to put something in the About section. So I come and stumble on your channel, or someone says to me, hey, can you subscribe to my channel? Or I'm just on YouTube and I find this channel by luck, and I'll come over to your About section and it's absolutely blank. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're about. I don't know what your channel is about, or doesn't give me information. So again, it doesn't entice me to stay with your brand. So this is where you could go and put in a bio about yourself, what you're trying to achieve across the channel, what are you providing? And that's where it's simple, because you should have this as part of your brand already. So how do we go about changing all of these at the moment if your channel has none of this or some of this from the home screen? It's as simple as this. We go over to your photo, or in the top right corner, we click. We'll go over to your YouTube studio. From that, we'll be able to go over to your customization. Now, the customization is going to give you majority of what we spoke about, but not all. So on the customization, you'll notice there is the first tab at the top here is the layout. You then got the branding and the basic information. So first of all is I would go over to the branding. And if you're starting your channel, this is the most important. This is where you would put your photos in that we showed in the home screen. The picture of your profile. The picture of your banner at the moment. Now, I can hear some people saying, Lawrence, where do I go? How do I make a YouTube banner? What imagery should I use? How do I figure it out? Or how to make a cool one? Let me show you this simple tool that is actually free. You go over to a website called canva.com, canva.com. It's one of the biggest tools in the world at the moment, and it's free for about 95% of everything out there. I come to canva.com, go into the search, and I search YouTube channel art. And within 10 seconds, it'll pop up hundreds of different templates I can download and customize to my liking to put up my channel art. And you can keep going all the way down there and find something that resonates with yourself or your brand. And as I said, it costs nothing. That's how, when you come back to YouTube, you can make that for your banner image. So you'll go in, as I said, update your profile picture, add in your banner image, but add in there, or change in if you've got an older one. And you can also add in a video watermark. What this is that when the video plays, you have a watermark that pops up when someone comes on the scroll bar. And normally a lot of people leave it, so it'll just be the YouTube emblem there. But you can go and put your photo there. So every time someone goes on scroll bar, your channel profile photo will pop up. I've got, as you notice here, that's just a photo of myself with some text there. So every time they go on there, they see my brand again popping up in their face. So that's the basic stuff about the imagery and the branding. If we go out to the basic info at the moment, shift over, this is where you find the About section. This is where you can go in and add the information that's the About. Please make sure you put in there what your channel is about, where they can reach out, and everything else. You can also add in links to your Instagram and your Facebook that sits on the image on your homepage. And this is where you'll go and add in the Instagram with the URL to those key areas. And then you come down to the layout. Now, remember I spoke about the trailer on the home screen. So if you've got videos or you don't have videos, you might not have anything set up in this layout section. You will see that there's a channel trailer for people who come in the first time, or a feature video for people that are returning. Fundamentally, YouTube allows you to show a different video depending if a person's a subscriber or if they're not. These two different videos, if you want to show them, is your choice. In my channel, I just show one video, irrespective of if it's a new person or a returning subscriber. I'll usually show my latest video. So I'll go in here, click on that, and I will go and change this video, which allows me to select any one of my videos that are going on at the moment. So I'll select one and save, and now it becomes the trailer on the home page for both people who haven't subscribed and people that are returning. Then you've got the add the section or the feature sections on your home page. This is where you can add your playlists, and you can make them going across the screen, up or down. You can have a single video. Again, this is your personal take on how you want your home screen to show. I would come in here and have a little bit of a play around if you got 3 or 4 videos before you communicate to the wider world, of come back to my channel and look what I've done and see what the layout looks and see what you like, because each person's brand and what they want to do is a little bit different. But it's simple. We're going add the section that you want here, and you can go and add a single playlist, a creative playlist, a single video, and then just shift them up or down by clicking that and shifting them up or down on the page, which will then change it on the home page. So that is the whole way that you can really see it just from the branding from the home page. But there was something else I mentioned that people didn't realize I was talking about, called the channel keywords. Now, these channel keywords are not fundamentally in this customization section, but they're actually under your profile settings. So now that we are still under YouTube Studio, on the left, you'll notice at the very bottom, second from the bottom, is settings. If we click on that, you'll come out to your general settings of your channel. You'll go over to where it says channel, and you'll have your basic information. This is where you'll do your channel keywords. Obviously, you go and highlight your country of residence, and then you have 500 characters to put in your keywords. On YouTube, keywords or tags, when we come into the video, the two terminologies is not like hashtags. It doesn't work the same way that Facebook or Instagram work. So I see a lot of people put in hashtag with a word here, or using the terms here incorrectly. Remember what I said, who owns YouTube? Google. What do you do in Google? You search. How do you search? The way you speak, just in a really basic way. How do I do this? How do I learn that? Where does this person live? What's this person's phone number? Keywords and tags are in the same way. We want to add them in here in the same way people would search to find out information. So you, under your brand, if you're teaching people how to learn guitar, you might have your keyword here in, and you just type it in as you go, how to play guitar, how to learn guitar for beginners, guitar lessons for free, for example. This is what people would search in Google. And these are the channel keywords you could put in here as well. The next thing to go on, and it's something that people are going to get caught out in a later period of time as YouTube have made this important, is just in this advanced settings at the moment. And what it is telling YouTube, is your channel safe for kids or not? Now, a lot of people out there might say, cool, my channel is safe for kids, it's all the rest. But think this through. When you say, is your channel safe for kids, and you go, yes, your content is then allocated to the kids, like YouTube Kids and other sort of kids content as well. If you say it is safe for kids and you have a video that has one cuss word or one thing that's edgy or one thing that could be seen as not kid safe or friendly, and someone complains, you could lose your whole channel. So if you're pure clean and you can fundamentally go line and sand that, yep, my content can go either way, you can pick as safe for kids. Like my channel, I do podcasts, I interview people, we talk about really edgy topics up and down. The language might not be perfect, so mine is not safe for kids, and that's the way I've said it. So that no matter what, no one can complain that they found my video, or a kid found my video, which they shouldn't naturally unless they search for me specifically, because my videos are not safe for kids. So make sure you put that in there depending on what your channel is about. So if I close that and we go back now to the homepage, to your channel, you should have, in the last 20 minutes of what we've spoken about, your banner. You should have then updated your keywords. You should have updated your layout of how your videos look or thought about how they want to look. So remember we said on that one, because now it means that if anyone finds or anyone falls onto your page, your brand will shout at them. They'll see what you're about. They'll know what you're about. And then they can make a decision on whether they stay or not. This now shifts us on to the next session, which is the loading of the content. This is fundamentally the royal standard, the most important section in everything you do in YouTube. Not the video that you filmed, not how you filmed it, not the topic within the video that you filmed. As much as this branding helps, it does help, but the loading of the video and what we're going to discuss in hopefully the next 25, 30 minutes is key to grow the success of your channel. So depending on how, again, I say your channel is, you either have videos that are in there, you can go back and update them with all the stuff we talk about, or you're going to load a new video. When you load in a new video, you would go and you would click the create and you would upload the video. You would go to the same screen, which I'm going to go over to at the moment. Is I'm going to show you an existing of my videos. So I'm just going to go to the YouTube studio and show you one of my latest videos under content. And I'm click details. When you want to upload a video, this is the screen that you will see as the first time, as well as the screen that you'll see if a video is already loaded. So we are going to go into something first of I call it the Holy Trinity. It's the three most critical pieces to the success of your video from day one to as long as it is on YouTube. And what that is the title, the description, and as we scroll down, a lot of people wouldn't realize the tags. The title, the description, and the tags make up what I call the Holy Trinity. Now think back to what I said earlier about Google owning YouTube. Education, entertainment, Google, we search. YouTube is exactly the same. When I come on YouTube for video, for music, for whatever I do it, I search for that content. Whether it could be 50 Cent's latest song, whether it could be an educational video or what's happening in the news today, I search for that song. So for your content, you want to put your content there as an answer to someone's search. And how that work is, and how that YouTube has put it together is, we've got to understand the SEO or search engine optimization of what our content is to what someone's looking for. So in a simple sense, in the title of a video, and don't get me wrong, you can have any title you like. When you're viral, famous, and go out there, you'll see, major celebrities go out there and their title means nothing, but they've already got the channels. They've already got the subscribers and the views. But for a small channel wanting to grow, the title is searchable. So if I go into YouTube and I search how to do this, how to learn this, how to find this, that is searchable by the title. So these 100 characters that you have on here is most critical to think about how someone will find your video. So I'm going to put my hand up. When I started YouTube, my titles were for my podcast were episode 1, my guest name, my name, the Wolf of Queen Street podcast. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love for people to be searching the Wolf of Queen Street podcast, but unrealistic, but no one does. No one necessarily searches for my guest name or my name or for some other key areas that they might think. I see a lot of videos out there in the coaching, in the entrepreneurship game. They'll go and put numbers or hashtags. They'll go and put something in there that fundamentally no one will search for. If you've actually got a video on YouTube, go back to some of your videos, look at the title, and ask yourself the question, will someone search for that term? If it is a blatant yes, that can work. But if it's no one's going to search for number 2 podcast or number 5 song, Why would we give up those characters where someone could be searching something differently? So at the moment, the video that I'm showing as an example is a video that I did with a very good friend of mine, Karen Goss. We spoke about the future technologies resolving the housing crisis. So in my title, we spoke about, I go and give the search terms that people could likely be searching. I know it's hard with only 100 characters that could possibly they be searching for to find my video. Future technology, cities of the future, how to solve the housing crisis. These are things people search or Google. 3D printed house or solar. So I think about what those people do, what they think about, and how they're going to search it, and I'll add them into my title. But that is the first part of the Holy Trinity. The second part is the description. The first paragraph of 3 lines, around about 3 lines maximum. YouTube have never come out with exact character count, so I usually say it's about the first 3 lines, is also searchable. Also, one thing we need to realize with YouTube, when we're watching videos, very few people actually go down into the description unless they've been driven to. Unless I go, hey, by the way, look in the description, you will see this. Most of us just stay in the video and watch. So don't feel precious about this space. And what I mean by that, a lot of people in the description, in the first 2 or 3 lines, want to talk about themselves, their brand, the current deal, their website, all the stuff that they're giving away, because they feel people will go there to learn more about them. If I wanted to learn more about you from text, I'd likely go over to Google, not YouTube. I'm here to watch videos or listen to music. So don't be precious about the space. So coming back to the second part of this Holy Trinity, those first 2 to 3 lines are searchable, as I said. So therefore, it means that you need to put into these 2 or 3 lines your thought pattern on all those search terms people are going to be looking for this video. But another thing that's important with the Holy Trinity, all 3 of them to work together, to make it the most powerful for the search term, whatever's in your title has to also be in the description. So therefore, if someone searches cities of the future, as my video is showing here, and I've got it in the title or the description, I will show higher than someone that only has it in the title, usually irrespective of my view count sometimes. I've seen my page on the homepage of YouTube with only 20 views or 40 views for a search term because my title and my description was aligned, and my tags as the third part of it, which we'll get to in a little bit. So think about it in your description. What is all the searchable terms people will search for when you're looking for the description? Below that paragraph is where you can take back your real estate, I would say. You can go and say stuff about your brand, your website, what the episode's about, and everything else. You can drop it below that first paragraph in case people will go and read there. A lot of people I know will have that first paragraph and everything below that, there'll be nothing. Because realistically, unless you're driving them, people don't go down into the description. The other thing that you'll see in this space at the moment, before I move on to tags, is something called chapters. Chapters in a YouTube videos, if you ever seen it, is when you go over and there's a section and then you can click on the timestamp to click into the next section. That is called chapters. And it is very easy to do it on a video. You just got to timestamp it in your description. And the timestamp is as simple as you go down somewhere in your description area, you go and put bullet, space, 00, as a time slot, 0000, and say start. Or you don't even have to say anything there, but that the word that's off that timestamp is what will go on the video. You got to have a 0000 start for YouTube to see it as a chapter. And then you can timestamp 20 seconds, 60 seconds, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever you want when your topic or something changes in your video. And you'll notice there is I've got terms that we spoke about in those chapters. So if anyone's watching the video, they can actually scroll over and just see what our topics are. One of the weird, cool things are if your video gets popular enough, if people search it and click on that section enough in YouTube, you can actually have that chapter show up on Google. Now you're like, hold on, video, Google, that's not necessarily the way it goes. Think about it. Have you ever gone into Google and searched how to do this? What is this process? How to fix my Zoom because it broke during a meeting? And it showed you 5 or 6 text answers, and then it showed you a video option on the homepage of Google. That is a chapter that is pulled through from YouTube because it's successful enough, and it only shows you that 2 to 3 minutes of what that chapter is with that answer. So if you're providing content like that, think about it in that sense. Going back to the Holy Trinity. Now, I know you're thinking at the moment, Lawrence, there's so much stuff you're talking about. I'm going to make sense of it all. Don't worry. You can come back on the replay and listen to it again and again, and it will make sense. So we're going to come on to the third part of the Holy Trinity, which is the tags. When you upload a video, this section at the bottom, see it says tags, is what a lot of people leave out. This is what sits behind the video, like the keywords for our YouTube channel, which helps with the searchability. Some of the most common mistakes I see in tags is, again, people think it's hashtags. So they go hashtag word. Also, they think it's the Instagram way, but not with a hashtag. So they'll go, for example, I've got cities of the future. They'll go cities of the future all as one word. YouTube works like Google, like we said. So everything in this section has to be how people actually search it. So word space, word space. Also, we don't have to have everything here perfect. If someone uses or searches in a certain way, and you know that, how to save money, or what is the perfect way to do this, how to paint house. How to paint house isn't very nice, common English, proper way of speaking, but people will search how to paint house. So think about those sort of key areas of how people will search your content that you're putting out there. Now, I know a lot of people thinking at the moment might go, but hold on, my content might not be providing any insights. How do I know that? This will come over time with your own brand and awareness of what you're talking about at this moment, what it covers, what you're trying to educate, and everything else. So that's something that over months and months you'll learn from your own channel on how to evolve of, am I providing education or am I providing insights? The other big thing people are saying to me right now is, I can see it and feel it and stuff, is people going, how do I know what the search terms are? How do I know what people are actually searching for, want to see, and everything else? Remember in the beginning, I said to you there was a product I used called TubeBuddy. This is where I'll show you a little bit of the benefits for this $5 or $6 a month and the massive difference it makes on my brand. So as you see, there's this little red button that sits up the top here. I click on this and I click on, in their feature, I click on something called Keyword Explorer. This thing will now help me find the keywords or the tags that I want to do for my video. So how about we go back to the very simple example we showed earlier, talking about how to paint a house. So I'm going to say to myself, okay, my video is about how to paint a house. So I'll go how to paint a house. And this will show me that that term gets searched 25,000 times a month on YouTube. There's 61 million videos in the database of YouTube for that search, and I can come to the results and I can see all the top 20 videos. When I'm using TubeBuddy, shows me the results for the top 20 videos in the area that I'm based. So I'm based in New Zealand, so it shows me all the videos from New Zealand. That's in the top 20. If you're in the UK, in America, in Europe, somewhere else, it will show you your top 20 that you'll see. So you might be able to search this and see some of the search terms a lot of people are using. And use them as well. Borrow them, use the same search terms they are doing. How to paint a room, basic painting tips. So you might not have thought that basic painting tips would be a good search item. So we go basic painting tips and we go explore. Again, the TubeBuddy feature will now go and look through all of YouTube and tell me it's only got 180 search times a month, but people are still searching for it. Over 10 million videos in the database, and I can go and see what the other people are doing and what their results are. So this will give you a big thing from learning with the TubeBuddy product of how to find the big keywords as well to use for your channel. There's all these different colors and graphs, and if this is something you're interested to learn about, put something in the comments at the moment so I can explain it to you, show you how it goes and everything else. Because there's so much to learn about how powerful each one of these keywords are for your channel specifically. Each time you use it, it looks at your channel across all of YouTube and not just a channel across YouTube. So it could tell you that searching this term for your channel is better than searching a different term and adding it into your tags. So that's how you can use a tool like Keyword Explorer under the TubeBuddy to find what are the key tags you want to put in there. So that is the Holy Trinity that I spoke about loading content. This is the most important thing you've got to do with YouTube. But remember when I spoke about the title and the description having the power they have to match? The same thing comes with the tags. So the terms you use in your title have to be in your description and have to be in your tags. You've got 500 characters in your tag, so you won't run out because your title is only 100. So you take the 100 characters in your title, drop it in your description, and drop it in your tags. Now you've got yourself the strongest searchability for your video. And I'll show you when we get to the analytics how this actually works and how this is amazing that you put a video out there and you can leave it and YouTube does all the work for you and will bring an audience to you. So that's why you have to put in the Holy Trinity. Then the final thing that comes with loading of the video in this sense, in the beginning part of it, is what I call the clickbait. And fundamentally, the clickbait is your thumbnail. So if I go back over to my channel and I go over to my videos need to, or your videos need to entice people to want to click on it. So when I'm scrolling, a successful thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail, will drive more clicks as well than anything else. You can imagine anyone that's gone on YouTube going scroll, and go, oh, that looks cool, click on it. Whether the video is good or bad does make a difference. That thumbnail drove you in there. So you've got to think about your thumbnail strategy when you're building your channel or when you're going back. A lot of people don't load thumbnails. So their thumbnail just is a scene from the video. Again, if you're struggling of how do I make a thumbnail? Where do I go? How about we just head over to Canva like we did earlier and we go YouTube, thumbnail, search it, and Canva will provide. These thumbnails are even better than my own, but I use my own brand and the way I like it. And look at all these thumbnails that you can go and change the coloring, alter to your own brand and use it that could entice people wanting to click. Again, Canva is free. To use this, to download this is all free. I can go and make these and make sure that on my videos, I'm enticing people to want to click. Now let's go back down to the very bottom of my own channel and see what I thought would work 2 years ago. I've gone through 3 versions of my thumbnail because learning more and more. These are my original thumbnails where I had a photo of my guest. I put my brand name and their guest name on the image and thought that will work. People will be interested to see it's the Wolf of Queen Street and it's an episode, whatever, and there's someone's name. Again, if someone's for education or someone's for entertainment on YouTube, these thumbnails are not enticing them or giving them an answer to their need that they want at that moment. So that I learned that, and I evolved again and changed my thumbnail. And I went to this version sort of in the middle of my brand, and I went, okay, great. I gave answers. So you'll notice there's a whole lot of text, and then the photo. And after a period of time, I realized I'm giving too much information. Some of these lines are 5 or 6 lines long. This one over here is 6 lines long, and I can't even read it on a laptop, let alone on a mobile. Why would someone in their 2 to 3 seconds that have seen my thumbnail, sometimes even less, why would that entice them? Again, something I learned. So coming to the thumbnails that I use in my clickbait, my versions, everything is large, everything is powerful, clear direction of myself or a guest, a couple of words. A lot of the ones out there that go, how to solve this, how to get through this, how to make this breakthrough moment, the big 2, 3, 4, 5 words. It is a clickbait for a reason. It is driving your attention. So think about this when you're building that channel and the video to have your thumbnail. Go over to Canva, make something over drastic. Again, if you put in photo of yourself, you put yourself on the photo. It took me a long time to be comfortable with putting myself almost a third of the thumbnail as just me. I went like, it feels egotistical. It feels like, why does someone all want to see me? But go back and look at the Tony Robbins, Elon Musk, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, if you're sort of in my niche or space. A lot of them will have just them on them because people know who they are and they go, that's the person, guy or girl that I want to click on. So think about that when you with your thumbnails of how you want to put position there that you have that chance for people to click on. So that is sort of the key areas when we speak about the loading of the videos. So we spoke about the Holy Trinity. We spoke about the clickbait on the thumbnails. That means that allows it that when people search on YouTube, they got a higher percent chance of finding my videos in the home page, first page, or second page. And then as well, if my thumbnail is enticing enough, click on it. The one thing is that when you load your videos, and we'll go back to the YouTube studio, or when you just load it up, you've got obviously your playlists. So when you load in it the first time, or you're going back to it, and you see this screen that you will see, you'll notice that as you go down, there's somewhere we can add your playlist. So you can go and build all your playlists. You go and name them, you just click on that, you just add a new one, and you have all your playlists, and you put it in there. That will just build the playlist called Playlist 1, Playlist 2, and the video will sit into it. But can you remember what I said earlier on, that the playlist is searchable? But how is it searchable? It is searchable that you can actually give the playlist a description. And how to do that is if we come back to our YouTube studio, you'll notice on the left-hand side, you got playlist here. So in the playlist, these are all the playlists I built, and each one of these have a description. So I can go in and I can edit it. And actually over here on the left is put a description of the playlist. This can be 5 words, 5 lines, whatever you want to put in there that could maybe find people and tell them about your playlist, but also maybe searchable. Again, these ones and playlists to be able to get into search does happen, but it's a lot harder. So normally I just have people go in here and tell me what your playlist is about, and maybe having 1 or 2 of those nice keywords in there. So in case they do find it, they'll have a read. But just think about that from your playlist point of view. Going back now to my channel. Sorry, I just have a little bit of water there. That is everything that is, key to part of the loading. When you load the content, and you've got your brand up in the place there, I can still feel people going, but Lawrence, what about the content itself? The main, whatever everyone feels like is most important. So remember I said in the beginning of the show, the content is naturally not necessarily the most important thing. It is the third thing out of the four fundamentals or the four pillars I spoke about the brand or your channel, the loading, the content, and the analytics. So we'll go into the content itself, and you'll be surprised. It's a lot simpler than you think. It's a lot simple and easy than actually overthinking it. Should I have a 4K video? Should I have an 8K video? Should I stand up? Should I sit down my video? The production of your actual video and all that stuff has almost, I don't want to say no effect on how your channel grows, but it has very little effect in the beginning. YouTube itself is a cookie monster. What I mean by that is YouTube wants to be fed. It wants videos and it wants videos and it wants videos because it wants to show your videos to the wider world. It wants audience to come back, and that's how they make their revenue. So when you think about content, the actual videos that you're making on your channel, whether it's existing, you building new, all that YouTube wants is to be fed. It wants quantity in the beginning over quality. It wants you to load 1, 2, 3 videos a week over once a month. Now, I know a lot of people find this hard. I did in the beginning. I was like, no, I'll go as best quality as I can, and I'll go one video every 2 to 3 weeks. And my analytics and my growth never showed up with it. As soon as I started doing regular feeding of the cookie monster, I started seeing the results in it. But let's go back to the actual video itself. So one of the big things that people will ask is, when I load the video, is there anything specific within the video I need to? Remember I spoke earlier, 4K, 8K. To me, I'm not really fussed about. I think there's two main key areas that you'll learn about the video itself, the actual content that you create. One is a call to action, or something called CTA that you might have seen about. It's literally, it could be a pop-up that says, hey, subscribe. Or as I'm doing a video right now, a call to action could be like, hey, if you're enjoying this course or this webinar, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you can find out more. You would have seen this on every single video out there. Again, it's something I never did in the beginning until I had a mentor of mine come to me and go, Lawrence, you've got no call to actions. And I'm like, does it really work? And he goes, you'll be surprised. And I implemented a call to action in my videos, which was fundamentally me doing that segment of going, hey, if you like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and then I'll carry on my show. And I brought that in the very early part of the video. And straight away, I started seeing my subscribers grow, because what it is in the psychology is we go onto YouTube, we see a video, we jump on it, and within 60 seconds, if we're still there, we're like, oh, this is cool, I'm enjoying this. Our brain hasn't told us, hey, make sure you hit the like and subscribe because I'm watching this content. I then get the pattern interrupt of a pop-up, or someone goes, hey, by the way, if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe. And my brain goes, well, actually I am, because we're so overstimulated. If I'm actually here staying, I'm enjoying this content, why wouldn't I like, or why wouldn't I subscribe? And therefore it entices a person, guy or girl, to stay there and then subscribe on your channel. So when you're producing the content, think of a call to action. There's another way that you can do it, like I spoke about, the pop-up. And a lot of people struggle to figure out how you could do the pop-up. So I'll just show you quite quickly a real simple way. If you go to subscriber green screen, if you search this on YouTube, you'll notice these are all the pop-ups that you normally see that go on there from the green screen. Now, you obviously want to download this and use it on your video editing tool to go on your video that'll pop up once you've made your creation. But one of the biggest things I pay attention to, and I hope everyone else is there, that you can't just download videos of YouTube of someone else's content and reuse it without it being a copyright infringement or stealing. Let's just put it plain and simple. But did you know there's something in YouTube called Creative Commons? What this means is I load up a video, I make a Creative Commons, and therefore it means is I give away the rights of copyright in this video that anyone can use it as freely as they like. In other words, it's a free YouTube video and you can do with it what you like. So for these green screen pop-ups or any other video on YouTube that you might want to use in your brand and you want to have editing in your post editing tool, how to find it is once you searched your term, you come over to filters, and right over here is something called Creative Commons. You search for that. Now, any of these videos in this section is now free for you to use whichever way you see fit. There won't be a copyright infringement from the person that put it up there. They've given away those rights. Is that cool? Is there other videos in your niche that you could be doing the same thing? Is there videos you see that you wish you could cut into your own editing and take off? Why don't you go and search in your niche, go to the filter, go to Creative Commons and see what pops up and go, oh, I can take that. Now you're going to go, Lawrence, how do I get the video? There are multiple YouTube downloaders out there just on your device or on Google, or depending on you if on Windows or on a Mac, Google, YouTube downloader. There's multiple tools that will allow you to download those videos in different formats and can do that. But please, as a content creator myself, only go for the Creative Commons content. I do not endorse anyone taking anyone else's video without their written consent or approval, because it's stealing. Let's not do that. So that's the call to action on your video. Another big thing for going back to my channel with the content creation is the length of the video. How long should my video be, Lawrence? Should it be 2 minutes? Should it be 2 hours? Should it be 20 minutes? A big thing that drives the length or the successfulness of the length of your video is driven about how engaged the people stay on that time period of the video. Sounds confusing. Is a little. I'll show you this in the analytics. What it fundamentally means is you could be loading up 5-minute videos or 50-minute videos, and your analytics will show you how long people stay. You've got to use this data to tell yourself, hey, I'm making 5-minute videos and people are staying for 4 minutes out of the 5 minutes, which I can tell you is pretty amazing. So therefore, if I wanted to, I could go a little bit longer. Or I'm making 50-minute videos like I originally did, and people are staying for 2 minutes. Now, this is not great for the YouTube search engine because it says, hey, here's a 50-minute video. People go across and they only stay for 2 minutes. This content's not good. We are not going to show it. Also, it could show that you might be getting heaps of people over, but your content is too long. And this is, depending on what the analytics shows, this is where you've got to do your research, look at the numbers, and evolve with your brand to see what your audience wants. So think about that from the content creation. All I spoke about is not how to film it, what to say, what cameras to use, what lighting to use. But on the content you're producing is focus on a call to action, and depending on your analytics, focus on the length of your video. And remember what I said, what does YouTube like? Cookie Monster, feed it, and feed it. By doing this, the YouTube will build a relationship with your channel to see what you're about. If you follow the Holy Trinity and your brand stays correct and it doesn't evolve, you don't go from an entrepreneurship coaching channel to a car dealership channel on the same channel, and YouTube goes, hold on, it's all broken. If you feed it in the same information, it builds this foundation of your content and it builds this relationship to understand what your channel is about. And when we get to the analytics, I'll show you what it actually means. I'll show you how YouTube, without you doing anything, goes, hey, audience, here's all this content. Why don't you watch it? And I have to do nothing. Seems simple, right? On the content creation. Seems simple when you watch all these big influencers go with these massive big cameras out there and do everything else. Yeah. It's not fundamentally about the clarity of your content or how it shot or what it said. It's about getting people in there from the fundamentals of following how to load the content, enticing them, and then depending if they stay of what you say, and that's how you can learn from it. So let's get into the last section. Let's get into analytics. We're going for an hour at the moment, way ahead of time, which is great. Let's get into the analytics of a channel. Again, if your channel is brand new or you're just starting, you're not going to have these numbers. I do recommend that you look at your analytics. If you've got an existing channel now, understand what it is from everything I show you, and then give yourself 30 to 60 days wait before you look at it again. You might take a timestamp of it now, implement all the changes I'm talking about, and give yourself that time period. YouTube's not instant. The changes aren't instant. So you've got to give yourself this period of time to allow the changes of the Holy Trinity, the clickbait, your channels, your keywords, your tags, all of that to embed in your channel so that searchability to come. That's why even myself, I struggle sometimes, like don't stress about last week to this week. Look about 2 months ago to now. Has the numbers improved? But let's get into it. So understanding your YouTube analytics, I go click on my profile. I go over to my YouTube studio, and it'll bring me into sort of my dashboard. So to anyone's dashboard, it's just an overview of your subscribers, your latest videos, and some real basic performance and information. Quite self-explanatory what's going on here. You've obviously got your content section, which has all your videos as well that you got, and depending if it's public or private. This is where you need it to be green and to be public to count for your monetization. If you've got it as private or unlisted, you'll have a challenge on for those hours. It does not count. But we are coming to the analytics, which is this one here. I'm going to show you analytics as a whole over the channel. This whole view can be done per video. So you can go to your content, and on the video, you click the little analytics button, and it is for per individual of the channel. I prefer showing it as a whole so you can see overall what is going on. So on the home page at the moment of the analytics, or the overview page, this gives me my channel snapshot after the last 28 days. Tells me that I've had just under 3,000 views in the last 28 days, how much watch hours I've had, and how many subscribers. So from a quick glance, it can tell me what my channel's done in the last 28 days, as well as what it's done in the last 48 hours as a live count with my top videos. Now, remember in the very beginning, I talked about monetization. 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, right? I can tell you that those 4,000 watch hours equals 11 hours a day. And I can tell you that those 11 hours a day equals 308 hours, a 28-day cycle. I know this because at the moment, it's something that I pay attention to, is what is my watch time per month to make sure for monetization. In the beginning, I was like, hey, I want to get as many views as possible. I want to get 50,000 views, 100,000 views, 200,000 views. And then you realize it's not necessarily about the views. It's the time and the subscribers. So think about that when you are driving your brand out there. Yes, you will reach out to people and say, hey, can you subscribe to my channel because I've got 20 subscribers, 40 subscribers, 100 subscribers. And to anyone that's watching that's on a small channel, when someone asks you to do that, give them the courtesy to do that, because I can tell you to reach that first 1,000 subscribers is some of the hardest work. Support each other, all the content creators. It's not like, hey, can you like my personal Facebook page? Go over, subscribe to the channel, and it's one subscriber closer to where they're going as well. And then, as I said, paying attention to my watch time. So I know in the last month, I am about 20 hours above my requirement for monetization. But this is where you'll see your overall dashboard. As on the homepage, it'll show me the top videos in this period of 28 days, how many videos, how many views, as well as my average view time and percentage. You'll notice that some of my videos will fluctuate. This video here, the future technology one, if my mate Car, and he was actually going to come on and watch this, I've told him recently, he's got almost the highest view rate on all my videos every time I get him on my show. He doesn't get the highest views itself, but anyone that goes onto his content stays for the longest. I think it's because the relationship we have, and we talk about stuff that's quite niche, future tech and stuff that's really out there. So it's sort of a small niche, and they come over, they love what we have to say. This also might show me in the last month some videos that I might not have been doing as well about. And this is where I can start taking it into of what I should be doing and shouldn't. But this is just the overview of my channel. What's important to see is with my overview, you'll notice that these are when I've loaded videos and I get these little spikes. The bottom ones here is when I've done lives, and you'll notice that I'm getting spikes and it keeps on increasing. That is this cookie monster. But one thing you'll notice as well, depending on the size of your channel, you'll notice between my last video in October the 5th and this one that I loaded 2 weeks later, that I was still getting views every single day with no content. This is something that sort of grows in your YouTube channel. It's sort of passive views. As your channel grows, and we're showing the analytics, and YouTube does this amazing thing in the background, you'll notice that your view count slowly grows and grows and grows. What it means is you might have 10 videos on your channel right now, and your channel gets 1 view a day. Let's use the example, 5 views a day. You go and update the Holy Trinity. You go do your clickbait thumbnails. You go and change all that stuff. And all of a sudden, you'll be surprised. This will change. And I've got multiple people that I've showed have done that, and it's worked. Is instead of going 5 views a day, you're now getting 15 views a day or 20 views a day because people are finding your content. So this is doing 15 or 20 views. As I'm loading videos the right way, my daily view count goes from 15, 20 views to 25 views a day to 30 views a day. And you're slowly having this graph that keeps building. And as the relationship grows with YouTube and your audience. And that's why you'll see some channels that will sit for 12 months and they'll slowly grow and they'll just get to a point and they'll just shoot straight up. And that's what happens with a lot of channels, sort of in the 12 to 18 month mark, once you've really been following that, because the last handful of months of doing the right way has slowly kicked in and it's just taken off. But going back to the analytics of the homepage at the moment is, as you showed, just those details. But now we're going to go into the reach. What the reach is, and this is one of the most important ones to see on your channel, is the reach shows of how many impressions your videos get in the last whatever period of time we've selected. So it's always automatically set the last 28 days. You can go and select the last 365, but I like to see month to month. What is an impression? An impression is every time one person sees one of my thumbnails. So in the last 28 days, 14 and a half, give or take, 14,500 times my content was seen on YouTube. Think about that. I upload a content out there and 14,500 times it was seen. That's what it does. That's what it means from the impressions. But as I come down this reach piece at the moment, and don't worry, we'll get to the click-through rate and the views and the unique viewers next. But I just want to show you something. As you scroll down the screen, and if you've got existing analytics, this is where stuff gets really cool. On the right here, it'll show you that from the 14,500 impressions, YouTube, not me, not my mate, not me posting on Facebook, not me posting on Instagram, YouTube recommended my content 30% of that. Now, anyone that's smart, 30% of 15,000 is what? 5, around there. Let's say 5,000 impressions, give or take 5% variance. 5,000 times in the last month, my content was shown to the YouTube audience by YouTube. I did nothing. I just put my content out there and YouTube did it on my behalf because I followed the right strategy. I had I told you, a 3.8% click-through rate means what's the percentage of people clicking on it once they see it. So I scored 557 views and over 100 hours of watch time in the last 28 days, and I did nothing. Wouldn't you love that? from wouldn't you love to do videos or stuff on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else, and the platform itself does it on your behalf. YouTube does that once it builds that relationship with you. When you build it in there, it actually shares it out to all the people. Coming through more on the reach at the moment is you'll notice is it also show you where your traffic sources come from. So mine at the moment is massive externally. I've got massive posting and sharing and everything else. I go through Facebook to drive traffic towards my YouTube. So 54% of my traffic in the last month has actually come from Facebook. I can tell you that. Look at that. 10% of my traffic, 1,500 impressions, has come from YouTube search. People searching on YouTube and finding an answer. My photo, image, thumbnail being one of those. This is the Holy Trinity. It's also shown that almost 10% has come from channel pages, people that actually subscribe to me, popping up on their home pages. Also comes 8% from suggested videos. My content being suggested with another person's content because they are similar. And this is sometimes really cool when you start building your niche and you might have another person that's similar to your niche. You don't have to be a competitor. If your content is good and is performing, they will show your video as next on YouTube when someone is watching theirs. And if your thumbnail, again, is better, they're going to click over it. So you can see just on the dashboard, I told you on Facebook, I told you the percentage of your playlist that goes on at the moment, and just some other cool things at the moment. Which videos were the best ones that performed to show you all videos? What are the key search terms? City of the future, best cryptocurrency. You know, Daniel Ross. I did an interview with a guy called Daniel Ross. He's the Donald Duck for Disney. So that his search term hit in my videos. So that is the reach from the impressions point of view. Then we get to something called the impressions click-through rate, or the CTR is fundamentally known. What this is it's the percentage of people that see your content and actually click on your content. This is your clickbait, your thumbnail. How successful is your thumbnails getting for when someone searches for items? Now, I always say between 3 to 5% is where you want to be, is where I felt on my channel. People might go, that's quite low. I did 3,000 views last month with a 3.8%. If I did it at 5%, it would obviously be a lot higher. But 3 to 5% is where I see sort of a channel. If you can achieve higher than that as a channel, you're doing amazing. If you're getting a lot lower than that, then there's something going wrong. It means that people are seeing your thumbnail but not clicking. Does it mean that your thumbnail is wrong? Could be. It's not exciting enough or enticing enough? Could be. So this is something you got to look at on your analytic review that you do every 1 to 2 months on your channel. So when I come into this impressions click-through rate section, it will show me all the same numbers I saw before. But what I can do is just under here where it says see more, because I've done on my whole channel, if I go and click that, it'll pop up and show me the last 28 days, all the numbers for my channel. It will show me my 14,500 impressions. It'll show me my channel average click-through rate. But what it does is it shows you on the homepage the first 50 videos. I've got more than 50 videos. I've got to export if I want to see all of them. If you've got less than 50 videos, it'll show you. It'll show you. I went and click-through rates are sorted. It will show you the percentage of what some of my videos are doing. 13%, 12%, 10%. That means these videos are doing really awesome. 8%, 7%, 6, 5. These are still within my acceptable threshold. 5, 5, 4. These are now going sort of lower and lower. So now I'm getting down to the lower point here. I've got 2.6%, 2.4%. So these are the sort of videos I'm starting to see that people are looking at. Look at this. 736 people saw my thumbnail, but only 2.3% of them clicked on it. I know that this video specifically, this one of Donald Duck, doesn't get as much click-through rate as it, because people are actually wanting to see Daniel Ross, Donald Duck, not as in an interview. So I know from my experience, this one has always got a lower percentage. But what it might see, and it was something I learned in the very beginning, when my thumbnails weren't great or acceptable enough or clickable enough, heaps of people were seeing it. They just weren't interested enough to click on it. And this is where you can see the impressions. Look at this. 650 times people saw it, only 2.6%. 730 times, only 2.3%. So I can, as a brand, make a judgment call going, hey, last month, 700 people saw it. This month, 800 people saw it, but no one is really clicking on it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change my thumbnail. And I'm going to give it 3 months and then see if my percentage goes from 2.3 to 3.3 or 4.3 or 5.3. And if it does that, it's doing the job. Because a 1% or 0.5% variance might not sound like a lot, but that could get you 5, 10, 20 views differently. Think about that. If you've got 20 or 30 or 40 videos and you're making 10 or 20 or 30 views difference per month, all of a sudden, just updating those thumbnails could drive additional 1,000 to 2,000 views to your channel. But this is not, again, like I said, you do every month to month. You take a timestamp, you look where you stand, you go and figure out the ones that you believe you can change because of the numbers, and you give it that 2 to 3 months to embed in the system. Remember when I showed you on the impressions, YouTube put 5,000 of those in front of people. You've got to give YouTube that chance to go through. So we'll just close this section back here and we'll go back to the click-through rate of my channel. You'll notice that also I get my click-through rate spikes when I come in around content. I release content here and it has a spike, again, a spike. And with all the lives I've been doing lately, they've been spiking close to that 5% mark. I'm feeding the cookie monster. And therefore, things are happening on my channel better than they were when I don't. You'll notice that there's a gap here, a noticeable gap between these two videos. And all of a sudden, I did a bit of a plateau. It didn't change. It was actually dropping just before this live. And I had almost doubled the click-through rate when I did another video. Feed the cookie monster. Think about it. That's what it wants. YouTube wants that content. Going on to the next thing about your analytics is your views. Obviously, you can see how your views go through your channel and you can see your traffic sources. Out of a whole lot of my traffic source, I had 50% external, which you spoke about earlier. We obviously then had YouTube search as well as channel pages. And this is the information we saw earlier. Something else that's quite interesting to see when you come in with your reach is your unique viewers. What this means is how many unique people, individual people in the last 28 days watched your channel or watched your content. So I've had 2,000 individual people come across. You'll notice that I've got 3,000 views. So that means some people are watching more than once. That is great. That means they are staying and they're watching more content. That can be seen when you go into the engagement. Sorry, when we go into the audience, I'll show you. When we go into the audience, I'll go there now, and I'll show you how many people are returning and watching your content. You'll notice that in the last 28 days, I've had 2,000 unique people, but I've had about 6% of that is returning customers. Now, anyone out there with a business that could have 5 to 6% or 10% of return customers month on month will be doing a great job. I would love for this number to be higher, and over time it will. But take a look and see how many of your people are coming back to your content. Again, this is on, are you giving them the information? Are you providing them the stuff that once they get there? And this is where you'll take a look through. And this engagement one is the one that will show you if you're doing that. What I mean by that is, remember I spoke about some of the biggest things about content creation is how long do people stay on the video? If they've clicked on the video, you've enticed them to give them the entertainment or the information. If they click off the video, you've done the wrong thing when the video started. If they stay on the video, then you're giving them the right stuff. So I can see under the engagement, the average view of the duration of the last 28 days. So my average view across my videos at the moment is 6 minutes, 42 seconds. Most of my podcasts is around 25 to 40 minutes. But I also know in the last 28 days, I've launched a live series, and most of those videos are between 5 and 9 minutes. So my natural view duration has come down a little bit in the last couple of weeks. That's why there's percentage. But by seeing that it's an average of 6 to 7 minutes or 8 minutes, remember I spoke about currents being at that very top end, 12 minutes. I know that when I do a 30-minute podcast, I'm asking a lot about my audience, but that's where I still do my podcast. When I do my short form content or my live series at the moment, I'm between 5 and 10 minutes. I'm right there that everyone wants. That's where my people are staying. So this is the number that you need to look in to see that if you're doing 20-minute videos and people are only staying for 2 minutes, your content is either wrong or not providing the right education, or you're making it too long. You should bring it shorter. Hope that makes sense in that sense. As well as you can see that if you're making 10-minute videos and people are staying there for 8 or 9 minutes, believe me, your channel will be blown up, because as your view percentage is higher on your videos, YouTube will see that the video is more successful as well and keep pushing it. There's new analytics that have come in around this average view duration, and you'll notice on my page at the moment. It will show you as well some cool stuff of how many people were still on the video at certain points, how many people were not, how well was your intros, how well did they take, and so forth. This is something to take a look at. And like I said, you can go into the analytics in each one of your videos through your content tab and look at your spikes. Did everyone stay for the intro? This one at the moment, because remember I've got the chapters, right? I've got the chapters in there. Did everyone stay in the intros? This says to me on this 1 year, 81% of people were still watching after my intro, which is great. Yes, I would love it to be 100%, but I can't be gullible to believe that everyone that finds or clicks my video is there to watch the whole thing. That's just never the case. But I can see that one performed really well. The other ones did 70%. And then obviously there'll be some that don't perform as well. So this is a lot of the stuff to take in with your analytics. Once you see it and understand it, it will just make sense. And I know you might be going, oh, I'm still confused. I did horrible with maths at school. I don't know where to go. If you're watching this video and you have more of those questions, as always, drop it in the comments and I'll reach out to you or answer it right there. And if need be, I'll make another video to go to each one of those sections about your analytics, to see what it means, to understand what it is. If we go back to the overview of it, like I said in the beginning, you need to understand the analytics, whether you're existing or when you're new. You need to look into it, see what it means for your channel at this moment. Again, depends if you're existing or if you're new. Make the changes you want to do it from what the stuff that I recommended, and then give it time. Don't make the changes today and then wait 1 week and make more changes on the same content. If you do that, you're not going to give YouTube that time to make and see all those differences. So at the end, I believe I've covered off all those key items which I spoke about before. The 4 main things: your brand, the loading of your content, the content itself, and the analytics. I know there was so much I covered off on there, and there might be a whole lot of questions I didn't cover off because you might have been asking about a specific setting or how does this work and all these sort of challenges. Like I said, just reach out and talk to me. But fundamentally, the Holy Trinity and the clickbait thumbnails will make the biggest difference on the success of your video. Then you can take a look at the analytics for the time that people stay there and alter your video if it needs to be shorter or longer. Don't forget your call to action. Remind people to subscribe. And also at the end of the day, after all of this, if you're still here right now, taking in everything that you need to learn from it, understand that growing a YouTube channel to achieve monetization can take 9, 12, 18 months of building this foundation. Understand how hard it is and the struggles a lot of people go through. So respect it. When someone reaches out to you, I can say to this, I can speak to this. When people reach out to you and go, hey, would you mind subscribing to my channel? Would you mind having a little look at my video? Would you mind going over and helping me out? Please do it. If anyone else there at the moment has their own channel as well and is watching us, drop your channel information on the comments. I will go over and I will subscribe. I will go and subscribe to your channel and I'll watch videos and I'll engage in it because I know how hard it is for each one of us to grow. You need 11 hours a day. We all need that extra little bit of help. So implement a lot of what I said. Please, it will make a difference. I guarantee you to make a difference. If you feel that what your brand or the direction what you're going in, nothing I spoke about could benefit from that, I'm happy that, you can go and do what you feel. But I'm telling you now, everything I spoke about implementing is fundamentally how YouTube works. The searchability, the indexing so people can find you on the homepage. Everything I spoke about can be found in Google that explains how it is. It just took me 2 years to figure it out. And I want you to take it from day one to put into place. But at the end of the day, I think I've said as much. I've did it way quicker than I thought. I thought it was going to be over 2 hours. I've done it in 90 minutes. And I'm hoping when you're watching live or on the replay, you've taken so much into me and learned so much from it. Please, as always, just let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And right at the end, I'll throw in the call to action. If you've learned from something, if you're not a subscriber yet on my channel, please hit the like and subscribe, and you can do it so you can see more content out there as well for the rest of the day. But thank you so much for coming over to this course to learn everything that I've learned in the last couple of years. And I hope it can help your channel to take it to the next step of the next week, couple of weeks, or couple of months. You'll be surprised how quickly those changes can make a difference, and then give it time to embed and grow. But at the end of the day out there, to everyone that's joined in now or later on, I say thank you. Keep pushing. It'll work. Your channel will grow. It will achieve what you're trying to do it. Just give it time and follow the guidelines. But as always, I say out there to anything out there, stay beautiful, stay powerful, think about each other, and have an amazing day or evening, no matter where you are in the world. And see ya.